Welcome back. Now again, continue our talking about loops, but this time I need you to be very focused because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. We're going to talk about the nested loops. What if we would like to display something like this in here? I would like to display this shape of zeros and ones, for example. I know that we can go ahead and type it line by line in a double quotation, but that's not the smart way. That's not a programmer would do. We need it to be done with loops. And what if it was 100 or 1000? We cannot type this by our hand. So how can we do this? And think of this as a maybe it's a table like in an Excel. This is a header here, and here's some data or in a database. This is a columns and rows. So this is actually very helpful tutorial. And let's go ahead and see what is nested loops. Okay, I'll go ahead and do a normal loop, for loop. I will and I equal 0, I less than or equal 5, semicolon, I plus plus, and I will do a display message telling me that this is, I will tell it that the first loop x equal, and I will concatenate the value of I, and it's not x, it's I. So that's, I think that's straightforward and easy. Let's try the output of this. You see? First time it was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So actually let's start from 1. Let's eliminate the 0. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Now, so what's the story about the nested loop? Nested loop, it will be a loop inside a loop. So I will come in here and tell it that I will do another loop inside of the first loop. So let's go ahead and do this. And of course, we cannot define another I. Let's do j, for example. I'll set it to 1 also. In the j, I'll give it the condition less than or equal 4, for example. I'd like to iterate only 4 times. And j plus plus, and again, let's go ahead and display something. So I can come here and hit console.writeLine, and I'll tell it that the second loop j equal, and I will concatenate the j value. Now, let's see the output of this. Let's go ahead and see. I know that's a lot, but we will break it piece by piece. But actually, let's take a new line. You see here the first loop, first loop, first loop, first loop, first loop. So I can come here and take a new line so that it's more readable. Just this, just empty, just take a new line, because we know that writeLine takes a new line. Okay, let's run it again, and I think that's more clear. Okay, now, stay focused. Now, in the first loop, I was 1, as we were expecting, as we have seen before. Now, we've entered the loop 2. So, inside the first loop, which is 1, the parent loop, which is 1, we have been using the j for 1, 2, 3, 4 times, because the loop of the j, the second loop, the inner loop, or the nested one inside the parent one, did 4 iterations or 4 loops, okay? And for the second one of I, the second one here, again 4 times, and the third one, and the fourth, and the fifth, all of them did a fourth one. I hope this is easy to understand. Now, let's go ahead and try to change this. Let's make it, for example, 6, so that the inner loop, or the nested one, or the son of the parent one is 6, as you can see here. So each second loop is iterated for 6 times, and the first one is only iterated for 4 times, or 5 times actually, as you can see here. So this is the nested loops. Let's go ahead now and try to display the block of zeros or any character that we choose. Okay, now let's go ahead and comment this and this and this, all of the lines, and I will do it 10, and again do this here to 10. And actually in here, let's go ahead and try to display it. Let's build it piece by piece. I would like to console.write only, don't take a new line, and I will display the 0. Now let's go ahead and run this. You see now it's on the same line, and I don't want this to happen, so I can go ahead. I don't want to use the right line here, because if I use it, it will be like this, and I don't want this either. So I will make it on the same line. Then in here, after each loop of the inner loop is done, I'll tell it to take a new line. So it will be displayed like this. Pretty amazing, huh? Now let's go ahead and make a space and run again. You see? I think this is pretty pretty. We can again change it, make it 100, and this is 100 again, and run. See? It's taking much time to do. 100 is very large. Let's take it to 30. 30 is nice. 100 is bad. Let's run it again, and as you can see, very powerful, the nested loops. So I hope this was easy and fun, and see you in the next lectures.